Deakin University's campuses stand on Wadawurrung country, Eastern Maar country and Wurundjeri country. We acknowledge the traditional custodians and pay our deep respect to ancestors and elders. We also thank them for their care and custodianship of country over many thousands of years. Our climate-ready campuses evolved in 2023 with impactful projects bringing to life the climate mitigation, climate adaptation, water and biodiversity pillars. Alongside our partners, we made significant progress against the university's integrated water management, waste management and carbon neutrality programs. These meaningful changes have reduced our impact while preparing our campuses to cope with the predicted changes in climate. We also established several living laboratory projects where students contributed to metering audits, water quality monitoring, and other real-world learning and research opportunities. Our integrated water management approach is an example of climate mitigation and adaptation in practice. In 2023, we completed a significant project to transform 6 ponds into a wetland system on the Warren Ponds campus. These now have capacity to capture an additional 33,000 cubic metres of stormwater, reducing our flooding risk while creating environments that can sequester carbon.
In 2020, the sustainability team commissioned an integrated water management plan because there's been a lot of issues over the years with flooding and water quality. And then from that, the main piece of work involved the conversion of 4 of the 6 ponds into wetlands, revegetation of Pond 5, upgraded stormwater drainage connections between the ponds. Each of the water bodies that have been fully converted into a wetland now have more capacity to hold water than they did previously. As the plants that have gone in become more established, they'll be able to absorb nutrients from the water, which will improve the water quality over time.
Wetlands ultimately store carbon, and they store carbon in the soil and in the plants. It improves the water quality that flows through it, so all the runoff that ends up in the wetland system is purified as it runs through the wetland, and then that flows off into the Warren Ponds Creek and ultimately the Bowen River, which is fantastic and obviously provides that increased habitat for biodiversity. It's a living laboratory, so we can have students, undertaking sort of teaching, learning and research on campus, which is great to see. I think the team accomplishment I'm most proud of is bringing all different stakeholders together. I think through our biodiversity work, we've been able to plan out biodiversity corridors. We've been able to prioritise water quality for the Bowen River, which is also a priority of the region.
Deakin's water consumption in 2023 increased by 38% compared to the previous year. This rise was expected as campus usage drew closer to pre-COVID levels. We also experienced less rainfall, meaning our irrigation needs were higher than the previous year. Water consumption remained around 5,000 kilolitres below the 2019 baseline and will continue to drop in coming years as we prepare to connect to recycled water at the Warren Ponds campus. In 2023, the Carbon Neutral 2025 team started detailed design work to underpin Deakin's commitment. The program focuses on built environment uplifts, electrification, metering and on-site renewables. Plus, we undertook detailed analysis of our full Scope 3 inventory to ensure we are accurately and authentically reporting on our emissions impact.
The Built Environment Emissions Reduction Program is all about reducing energy and the associated emissions from our building fleet. We've sort of split it up into major key parts of work. So the building automation and air conditioning, so really making sure we're heating and cooling the buildings as efficiently as we can, turning stuff off when we can. If we can't turn it off, we'll try to turn it down. Upgrading a lot of the lighting, installing a lot of metering and measurement so we can really get a good picture of how much energy we're using and where. A lot of our students, as part of their work integrated learning, they actually get involved quite heavily in a lot of the audits. So they're walking through buildings, counting lights, walking through plant rooms, opening doors, opening cupboards, and now all of a sudden they're able to see the results of their work. When your kids sort of ask you in 10 years' time, hey Dad, what did you do about climate change when you could have? Well, this is the project we've delivered. It's a tiny little bit, the world needs to do a heap of work, and it's Deakin's contribution.
Our campuses saw a 5% increase in energy consumption compared to the previous year, which is reflected in a slight increase in net emissions to 39,760 tonnes. Both remained below the 2019 baseline. Waste reduction continues to pose a challenge as we navigate industry and behavioural change complexities. We are actively trialling initiatives to stem waste to landfill, while finalising a circular economy strategy.
So the We Choose to Reuse program was a pilot program that we ran here at Deakin University, and what we looked to do was implement all reusable cutlery, crockery and cups through our hospitality venues here at the Warm Ponds campus. We made quite a brave decision in going 100% reusables, and there was some initial pushback because people liked the idea of takeaway options still and they wanted that flexibility, but we saw it as a really important way to implement a pilot where we could really make an impact. We're looking at all waste streams across the university and how we can really reduce our impact.
Waste to landfill from our operations and residences increased by 16% in 2023, sitting at 814 tonnes. It remains well below the 2019 baseline amount. The increase can be partially attributed to the including of reporting data from Deakin downtown for the first time. At Warm Ponds, the We Choose to Reuse initiative saved 40,000 items from landfill. Plus, in the first 6 months of the resource recovery wall, we processed around 43 kilograms of batteries, phones and small e-waste items. We improved our sustainable transport options this year by collaborating extensively with the state government to upgrade the bus network servicing the Burwood campus, realigning the Smart Bus 903 route, and upgrading the accessibility and technology of nearby bus stops has meant our campus is more readily accessed via public transport. We installed 2 EV chargers at the Warm Ponds campus, which can charge 4 cars simultaneously. These units have seen around 3,100 hours of charging, over 1,200 sessions in their first 6 months of operation. Over the year, the charger at Burwood enabled almost 6,900 charging hours over approximately 2,400 sessions. Limited parking at the waterfront campus during the construction of the Geelong Convention and Exhibition Centre led to a 40% increase in patronage for the Geelong Inter-Campus bus. We have also offset 100% of our transport-related emissions, investing in projects that restore native vegetation and encourage further renewable electricity development throughout the Asia-Pacific region. Lastly, Deakin continued to support Lime's shared e-bike scheme in Geelong, which saw over 14,000 cycling trips in 2023. Together, these initiatives are helping to bring our climate-ready campus vision to life. We know that more transformative work is necessary to reach our 2025 and 2030 commitments, but we have many foundations in place and remain committed to achieving the goals.